Hello, you are welcome to today's class. My name is Dr. Isagboyin Henry. We are continuing our series under human nutrition, and today we are looking at lesson note 37, high protein diet. High protein diet. Now, a high protein diet is a dietary regimen in which protein intake is significantly increased beyond the normal dietary recommendation. Typically, this involves protein levels exceeding 1.5 or 2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. So when it involves protein levels that have gone beyond 1.5 to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, at that point, you now begin to consider a high protein diet level. I'm sure you got that. Now, what is the clinical use of the high protein diet or high protein diet, as it were, in this discussion? High protein diets are commonly described to individuals or prescribed, to individuals with conditions causing muscle loss, conditions such as cancer, bone injuries, or after major surgeries, because they need a high level of turnover of protein that will be needed for a lot of metabolic pathways and metabolic, functions. And so you could have cases like muscle wasting and malnutrition. So you need high protein diet to be able to meet up, the demand. Also in the cases of athletic performance, for athletes or individuals undergoing intense physical training, high protein diets will help in muscle repair and recovery. How about cases of renal disease? While it is beneficial in muscle preservation, high protein intake must be carefully monitored in individuals with kidney diseases so that it will avoid excess nitrogen waste that the kidney may struggle to excrete. And when there's a kidney compromise, or there's a kidney renal dysfunction, you are to ensure that such a kidney is not allowed to be bathed with a lot of work or nitrogen to manage. And so when there's a high protein intake and excretion has to take place and the kidney has to process the breakdown of these proteins into the last point of nitrogen, resulting to nitrogen waste, when it is excess, it begins to struggle with it because the capacity of the kidney has reduced. And so in renal diseases, those who already have problem with the kidneys, compromise with the kidneys, or there's already dysfunction, you don't load them with high protein anymore because there's already issues. And the kidney would not be able to process that level of nitrogen waste. It will struggle to do that and can lead to edema. You have too many of waste in the body system and leading to edema, swelling of the legs and the bodies and so on. And this is very important so that we manage the level of high protein. Now, moving to the next one, let's see the types of protein diets. Like we've said before, you have the animal-based protein, that is the meat, the egg, the dairy, and then you have that's the dairy, and then you have the plant-based proteins, just like tofu, legumes, and soya. Now, special formulations also exist, where you have high protein supplements or specialized powders, such like your whey protein and casein, put together in a specialized formula prepared for intake, like I've told you, for persons who are compromised in terms of their health and cannot take solid food. So they can't take this, or for persons who we need them to have a quick recovery, you can give them this in form of fluid. Now let's look at the effects and consideration. Now in terms of anabolism, enhanced muscle tissue repair and growth will take place due to abundance of amino acids. So it will help. And also during potential risk, there's excessive protein intake. And when there is, like I told you, it can strain the kidney. That's a potential risk, especially in those with pre-existing renal conditions, with underlying issues. Now, additionally, high protein diets may also lead to increased fat intake if it's not carefully monitored. So excessive protein intake can be useful in specific areas, but then it has to be properly monitored and not taken when you don't have issues, in that high quantity. So that will be all for this discussion. I'm sure that we've seen the definition and you understand that. We've seen the example of clinical uses of high protein diet. We've seen also the types of high protein diets that we have, and then that of the special formula and what is used for the special formula. We've also seen the effects and the consideration when we are dealing with high protein diet in terms of anabolism and also the potential risk. Ensure you take notes, ask questions, and don't forget, when we see in class, we'll deal with the remaining ones. I'll see you in the next class.